Planning Board meeting on June 22nd, 2023. Madam Secretary, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Bernardo? Present. Mr. Katzif?
Here.
Mr. Lilly?
Here.
Mr. Hindman? Mr. Kamudi? Mr. DeOld?
Here.
Councilman McAvoy? Mr. Neal? Mayor Roman? Vice Chairman Fresky?
Present.
Chairperson Pearson?
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez, the engineer? Mr. Massera, Board Attorney?
Here.
And Mr. F. Zoning Officer.
Also present is our wonderful Board Secretary. The notice requirements of the Public Meeting Act have been satisfied with respect to the meeting of Verona Planning Board being held in person in the ballroom of the Verona Community Center. The time and date of this meeting were included in the annual meeting notice posted in the Community Center and sent to the official newspapers of the Township, the Verona Cedar Grove Times, and the Star Ledger at least 48 hours preceding the start time of the meeting. A public comment period will be held in the order it is listed on the meeting agenda, and instructions on how to comment will be provided at the appropriate time. All meetings are recorded. Those wishing to speak during any public comment period should only provide their name and municipality. Street addresses are not required. Please be advised that should a member of the public choose to state their street address, it will not be redacted from the meeting's recording. Can everybody please rise and join me for the pledge?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I will open public participation on any matter that you'd like to speak about, and I just want to read what I probably don't have with me, which is the public participation statement. No, that's, which states that you may approach the mic with anything that you'd like to speak about. Once you are done, and please know that you don't have to state your street address. Once you are done, you will sit back down. We won't have any cross dialogue. And then at the end of everybody's statements, if there are any questions, we will do our best to answer them.
Hi, Sarah O'Farrell, Verona, New Jersey. I am here to alert this board to the circumstances at 176-200 Bloomfield Avenue. There is an improper, unsafe, and unprofessional pattern with the owners that has been going on for over a decade. The owners, whoever they are at the moment, continue to operate in poor faith. In early June, they started digging and never told the town they were doing anything. The town only found out that there was an excavation because of numerous phone calls due to the noise. The town never went to inspect what the owners said they were doing. We were told the owners said they would be there for 2 days and are allowed to dig test pits. The digging went on for 5 days and the pits were massive drilled holes. There is apparently no town oversight. On June 12th, a large commercial dump truck towing the excavator from the site came flying up the wrong way on the very narrow and blind curved one-way street. I notified the police. They were unable to report this as no one was at the site. On June 14th, mud was pouring from the site and flooding onto Bloomfield Avenue. I called Essex Hudson Soil. Sal Zerbo agreed they need the correct erosion control and silt fences. From my description, he said it didn't sound like they were in compliance. Sal said he would check. As of June 22nd, 2023, today, there is still no correct or maintained silt fence and erosion control. There have not been correct and maintained soil control devices for years. After the owners tore the existing home down, they neglected to backfill the hole and someone fell in the pit. Thank you for listening to this statement about an owner who continues to do as they please. Thank you.
If anybody else would like to make a statement or ask a question, the time is now. Okay, we are then going to close public comment and move on our agenda. There was no question there to answer, so thank you. All right, we will now move on to approval of meeting minutes. Has everybody received the May 25th? Can I group them?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Has everyone received both May 25th's regular meeting minutes and the special meeting minutes from June 7th, 2023?
Yes.
Yes. Did anyone have any ministerial corrections or, okay, with some, I'm sorry, go ahead, Doc.
Got one on the minutes for May 25th, 2023. On the second page, the last paragraph, there's just a typo in the second line of that last big paragraph. It says Mayor Roman advised that, and it's THA 5T.
Oh, I see.
And I do have one other, and I
And this-
forgot to bring that April off. But there was another typo where something didn't make sense, and I'll call that one in. But that's a.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Would somebody like to move both sets of meeting minutes? Motion is made by Mr. Bernardo. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Second by Al Diold. Not a roll call. All members who vote to approve?
Aye.
Aye. Any to disapprove? And any abstentions? All right, all present members vote aye.
Madam Chair, again, I want to commend Marcy for wonderful job on the minutes.
Very clear. Yep. So I totally agree. Okay, meeting minutes are approved. We're now going to move on to resolutions, section F. Resolution 2023-05. This is sort of memorialization, right? This memorializes finding ordinance 2023-15, the designation of 11 Cole Road as a historic landmark consistent with the Verona Master Plan. Would somebody like to move resolution 2023-05?
Motion to move.
Mr. Katzoff moves. Can I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Fresky. Can we get a roll call vote, please? I know that there's only a few people here, but yeah. Mr. Bernardo has to abstain from this, right? Because he wasn't,
If you did not vote on the...
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Katzoff,
Yes.
Mr. Lilly,
Yes.
Mr. Zoll,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Fresky,
Yes.
and Chairperson Pearson.
yes. Now I have a question for you. We marked all these people as voting yes, because they voted yes at the original meeting.
No, that's not correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Only here.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
They voted yes
Yes,
on
at the
it.
meeting, that's correct. Now, it's correct the way you did it.
Can we leave it like this? Does this?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this stands with, even though those people were absent from tonight's meeting, they voted yes on the original? Are we correct?
That is correct.
Okay. So we're good. Thank you. The measure passes. The resolution passes. Resolution 2023-06. This is the resolution of the Planning Board of the Township of Verona to adopt the 2023 third round housing element and fair share plan. Can I get a motion to move this?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Bernardo, who was not present at the meeting. You were absent, so you can't make him.
I'll retract that.
I'm sorry. You were absent from the meeting, so you can't. Can I get would anybody
So
like?
moved.
Thank you. Vice Chair Fresky makes the motion. I'll second it. Can we get a roll call vote, please, of the members present? Besides Mr. Bernardo, I'm sorry. Oh, and Mr. Castoff has to. I'm sorry. Everyone but 3 people have the option.
Okay, so Mr. Lilly,
Yes.
Mr. Dold,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Fresky,
Yes.
and Chairperson Pearson.
Yes. So again,
Yeah, I'll talk to Marcy about
okay.
cleaning this up.
Let me just say, I have the hard copies of the Word on my computer, and I'll send them to you
Okay.
for
so
whatever
I can adjust
cleanup
them from
Greg
that.
wants to advise on that. Thank you.
Just so everybody knows, what Jessica's referring to is the names on the votes have already been filled in, but not for the resolution. And that's why the resolutions usually have a box and then it's handwritten in later. So what we can do, Marcy, is simply amend this to say, vote on whatever the date this was, April 27, 2023, this, and then resolution, so we can just
We'll
add
just
in
add it underneath.
resolution, et cetera, so we can leave these the way they are.
And then add a resolution.
Resolution, and then the
And put
tally of the
resolution
vote.
vote. and then
Okay.
check the tally for that.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just for future reference, can we actually do a resolution on the same day as a vote?
You can, it's something that I am against,
Okay,
because it makes it seem like,
you're shoving it through too quickly.
well, it makes it seem like there's really no discussion. You have the resolution done, and then you're trying to back your vote into the resolution.
Okay,
In some instances, it makes sense, but, I equate it to when we go to argue in front of a judge, and the judge gives you 20 minutes to argue, and your opponent argues, you argue, and then you rebut, and then the judge reads from his or her opinion. And it's, what did I just do?
right.
So
3
I
hours.
equate it to that. Like, if you have the resolution already done, then what good is the debate? Because
Okay.
nothing is in there, so.
For something like, for our next reorg meeting, we have a resolution that apparently has to be passed on the meeting dates, which we already kind of voted on, and it's such a simple one, we could have probably done that.
That we can.
Okay, all right, but I'm still going to bring that resolution forward at the reorg meeting, because we have to, I think. I think it's a law. Okay, resolution, sorry about that, 2023-07, a resolution amending Chapter 150 zoning ordinance with a new development fee ordinance finding it consistent with the Verona Master Plan with the planning board's recommended revisions. Can I get a motion for this? Mr. Lilly.
Motion.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second by Al Diold. Everyone's taking turns tonight. It's perfect. Can I get a roll call vote of those who were able to vote on this?
Just to be clear, Mr. Katzif and Mr. Bernardo are abstaining?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Mr. Lilly,
Yes.
Mr. Dold,
Yes.
Chairman Fresky,
Yes.
and Chairperson Pearson.
Yes. I'll share this job with you anytime. Believe me. Okay, we have no consistency determination. An announcement that the applicant for One Sunset had called today to ask for a continuation at the next meeting. I want to make very clear, we did post that on the website, on the agenda, under agenda, that they were not going to be heard tonight. They did ask for continuation to be heard at the July 27th regular planning board meeting, and there will be no further notice on this.
So official notice to the public is that the Sunset Avenue development application will be carried to the July 27th,
July 27th.
27th meeting at 7:30 at this location.
If there's any new business that anyone would like to discuss, please let us know. Otherwise, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, wait,
Chairperson, yeah.
you're absolutely right. Sorry, we have one item of new business, please.
There's the June 27th, next Thursday, had been discussed as a potential date for a executive session meeting for the board. I needed to get an idea of availability of the board members. Haven't heard back from everybody yet.
Has everybody here, sorry, has everybody here responded or,
I thought I did.
okay.
I responded.
I think it's kind of slim pickings on that meeting.
Should we consider moving it, or? We can't, we're certainly not locked into it. Was that, how many said yes?
Yeah, we have 5 yeses, 1 maybe, and 1 no.
And how many did we have? 2 no's?
Oh, 2 no's.
All right, I can just tell them that we have to pick an alternate date, and then we could do it through Marcy. You know.
I have heard some complaints about it being very close to the July 4th weekend.
Well, we'll have to do it,
And
right.
where everybody is away with their families and experiencing the joy of beaches. So
Yeah, we'll have to do it then the week after.
I would suggest the week after July 4th, week.
I agree.
Week of the 10th, we'll try.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just tell that we can't get a quorum, and that or if we have a quorum, it's only 5, and we'd like to be better engaged. So we'll have to put it back. That's fine.
So which date is this that we're deleting?
You want to pick a date that we can?
No, which date are we,
We're giving up
Target?
the 27th. We
27th of
had
June.
said the
Yeah,
27th.
We're going
and
to aim for the week of July 10th.
And that following week is no good for everybody?
That's July 4th week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's.
And July 4th is on a Tuesday, so.
Yeah,
The week is shot.
So,
I mean, I'll say
I'm taking
officially
it.
that I'll be gone the week of July 4th, so you would be without a secretary.
Yeah, so that week
Well,
would be.
let me just say this, I'm sorry, but that July 10th, I am here the 10th, but then I'm gone again, so maybe if the meeting's being moved, for my suggestion, maybe it's not worth it then.
No. No. I mean, is everybody okay with the 10th?
well, the 10th is a Monday, so I would check either the 11th or the 13th, since we tend to have these on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
13th is great.
We have to,
And you
The
don't wanna-
13th,
You
there's
don't
a-
want to clash on a Monday with the.
there's a
I'm
board,
sorry,
of-
there's a Board of Adjustment meeting on the 13th?
in this room.
Okay, so maybe the 11th on the Tuesday?
Well, is the 10th just not possible? I mean, if Jesse can make
Is
it
that
on
a
the 10th.
council meeting night too, because that clashes? Not
I'm
that-
sorry,
If it's a town council meeting night on the 10th?
can you look real quick? Thank you. I see that the 17th appears to be a council meeting.
All right, then the 10th is probably.
I think they only have one meeting in July, but I can't be sure about
So
that.
the 10th or the 11th work then?
The 10th would be great if 10th works for me.
Well, thank you. How about for you, Doc? And Dave? Do you know if the 10th works for you on Monday
I'm pretty
night?
sure it does.
Okay.
We'll shoot for the 10th, is that all right?
So
with everybody?
let me do this. Even though I'm recused from this particular meeting, and it will be a closed session meeting,
There is no, I'm sorry, there is no.
Thank you.
council meeting.
what I need to do is check with the rec department that this room is available.
Okay.
I can follow up with them because I need to release the room for the 27th now that we won't be using it.
You want to
So
call
I can
Mary
follow
Farrell
up and find out from her.
and put a hold on the room and send out a new poll
And then
to
I'll check with the
everyone?
other
Okay,
side.
so I'll release the 27th and I'll try and get a hold on the 10.
Right.
If it's not already booked, and I'll keep everyone.
Greg, will
Right, for
you
that.
I'll reach out to
contact?
the other side.
the other
Make sure
side.
that they're good for the 10th.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So, say that again?
I appreciate it, thank you.
No, I mean, the more the merrier. At any rate, I appreciate you guys making yourselves available for another special meeting. It's been a lot on a bunch of volunteers, so thank you.
So I have an agenda item.
Sure.
So Mr. Kamudi brought this up at the last meeting.
Okay.
That he went before the council to discuss the practice of the township engineer and the DPW or whoever does the repaving of the streets, the practice of clear cutting the streets when the paving is being done without, I don't know, consultation with any other body. So why would that, is there an opportunity to insert this body in that process in approving street plans and say they were going to take down trees, maybe some trees it's justified, but I find that hard to believe because I've been to cities where there are, just massive trees with lines of streets forever. It doesn't seem to be a problem when they pave the streets. So is there a way for us, just with respect to being consistent with the master plan, right? If we want tree-lined streets, then why are we undermined by this practice?
So I appreciate and I agree with that. When Mr. Kamudi went before the planning board, I'm sorry, the council, I was in attendance via Zoom for that meeting, and the mayor said that he wasn't going to come up with, on the fly, a process by which that should be followed, but he agrees that the township can do better, and there should be a better process put in place. The process, inclusive or exclusive of the planning board, certainly needs to be looked after better. Whether we will be inserted into that process or not is unknown because they haven't apparently revisited it, but I think.
Why can't we insert ourselves?
We don't have jurisdiction, because we don't
It's a
have,
township
we don't have
ordinance.
jurisdiction over the municipality.
It's not in the zoning code
Right.
either.
So there's no lack of, we can't argue consistency with the master plan and.
No, we don't have jurisdiction to, I mean, we can certainly raise as a body,
We could write a memo.
write a memo and that, but there is no reporting requirement or conditional requirement that the municipality come before the governing body before the planning board for approval of anything.
Aren't most government entities, a lot of times, they're not subject to the same zoning codes and.
Well, that's what I said, we have no jurisdiction, is exactly what I was, we're saying the same thing.
Dave, what's the exact issue? I'm not familiar with the issue.
The point is on private property, if somebody wants to remove 2 or more live trees, or actually they're allowed to move 2 live trees from their property in order to, whatever, put a swing set, extend their driveway, put a garage, whatever it is. If they want to remove 3 live trees from their property that exceed 6-inch DPM, diameter at breast height, they have to come for a hearing before the planning board. And then the planning board can discuss mitigation, et cetera. What Mr. Kamudi and what Dave, and quite honestly, I agree wholeheartedly, are upset about is that the township seems to not be held to the same letter of the law when they remove all of our street side trees, some of which are 60, 70 years old, that are mature and doing a lot of good for our town.
What's the connection with paving?
Well,
So when they're going to pave a street, like, for example, Morningside, maybe 10, 12 years ago, a lot of it was just clear cut. They just took down all the trees.
And then, so that.
Look at Derwent.
There were 2 things. There was one over, I believe, on Ann, where they redid all the underground work. And then on Derwent, I believe was what Tim brought up. And actually drove down Derwent and, did notice that they did cut the trees. I don't know if they're doing paving, but I did notice.
What they did on Ann Street, they did it on Linwood about a year and a half, 2 years ago. They did it on Ann and Cypress and Willow, and they just did Derwent. They're redoing the pipes, the water pipes underneath the street, because there's pipe breaks you probably got, 3 texts over the past 2 days with further ones? But they put new water pipes, new storm drain pipes, and new curbing. In the process of that, they were damaging the roots of the trees, and they took the trees down and they're replanting.
I can understand how the underground would be, how the trees would be impacted by that, but is it specifically just paving?
No, it's not just paving. On Ann Street, on Linwood,
But what I'm saying is that in the past, it has been also just paved.
okay.
There are
It
plenty of
hasn't,
examples of they just paved the street, just cut the trees down. And-
It's not exclusive to paving.
Okay.
There's a major utility or.
Yeah, well, I guess my point is, if it's justified, that's fine, of course, if it's justified, but there's plenty of examples of trees, Savannah, Singapore, wherever, with these massive trees that have been there for, in some cases, hundreds of years. Why can't we figure it out?
I
Why is
don't
that such a
disagree.
big deal?
I've never seen a place that where paving has impacted trees.
Well, let's just say, I think it was better said by Jeremy when he said it's really all about utility work, more so than simple paving. If it happened on Morningside, I don't recall that happening, but, I'm sure that you're citing a real circumstance.
Unless what they're doing is they're taking advantage of the need to pave to fix existing utility issues that are being impacted by tree roots. So if they're opening up, if they're, I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that would be the, like, the connection.
I don't think that
But
that was
just
what was
tree-
happening
I'm
so
not-
much.
I don't understand why they would need to cut trees down.
I will say, just speaking as a resident.
Sure.
I live on Cypress in the Cypress and Willow area.
Mhm.
And there were about 100 trees taken
Yeah.
down. And I'm sure some of them did have something to do with the utility situation. They also put in new sidewalks, and I was told that that was also part of their motivation for removing the trees, because most of the trees, from what I could tell, did not need to, were healthy trees.
Does engineering, do they issue a report when they,
Not to us and not to even the Shade Tree Commission, who have alerted me to the fact that they are going to become much more proactive on this as well. Yeah. So,
I think the answer, based on the concern,
Yeah.
would be for this board to ask that the governing body pass an ordinance that somehow regulates even the municipality, the governing body, taking down trees without notice to whether the Shade Tree Commission, Planning Board, whoever.
for the mitigation plan.
Well, but, right, I don't know whether it's going to have teeth, and I don't know whether the governing body would agree that all of a sudden, hey, now I have to report to somebody, But that really is the function of this board as it comes to overseeing things that are not within our real jurisdiction. Overseeing is not the right word, but becoming involved in would be to suggest an ordinance.
But we are woven into their process from
yeah.
private property.
Yes and no. Yes, but no, the town can do whatever it wants.
you just need to find out at what level is the decision being made, right?
Well, that's true too. Like,
Is it the end? Is it
I think it's just the engineer.
An engineer that's going to a plan and saying, based on this, we're going to remove X number of trees, or is it happening at like the supervisory DPW level or wherever?
Well, is it Chuck saying, hey, cut this tree? I don't think it is, but still, even if it's the engineer, no offense to Boswell, they haven't been in town. Now, all of a sudden, they're saying, go to Cypress and take down 100 trees.
Yeah.
Like, they're an outsider. And, so,
And I guess anybody who's traveled around and you've seen these old cities, there are these literally hundreds of years old, and they figured it out. They replaced the sewer systems, they replaced the roads, they replaced the curbs, they replaced the sidewalks, and the trees are still there, and they're healthy. And so why can't we figure out these with our little maples and oaks here? Right? So I understand that it's outside the scope of this body, but I do think it's though would be in line with our responsibilities to draft such a recommendation, right, to the council. I'm happy to take a spin at that.
Right.
It shouldn't be anything too complicated.
Can I cite the code too? Go to chapter 436.
Yeah, and then what we'll do is next meeting, we'll do a resolution authorizing,
Another one I gotta write down.
no, authorizing the board secretary to transmit the
Yeah.
correspondence and,
We'll send it to Jen Shearney.
send it to Jen and she can,
Disperse to the.
to the council.
the
Right.
council. And I have a feeling we'll even get buy-in from the council members. I don't think that they would be against this. I can't
Well,
imagine.
maybe they don't know. I mean, maybe it is something in the engineering department, and all of a sudden, it's basically something that nobody knows who's
Yeah.
who's flipping a switch.
Yeah. It's
I
just
don't think you're
Right, right.
Okay,
Okay.
that's all.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, Dave.
Oh,
Really
thank
good
you.
suggestion.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, no, it was Tim. I just,
But follow up.
went on to Tim's suggestion.
All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Second by Mr. Lilly. All members?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Best meeting ever.